After 270 episodes, I realized I've never done an episode talking about New Comic Book Day and actually going to my LCS on Wednesday to pick up new comics. So today, I'm going to my favorite LCS in the Baltimore area for new comics, and I'll show you my experience there. Welcome back, comic book fans. It's Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and in today's episode, I'm going to take you to Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, Maryland for a typical New Comic Book Day at their shop. Now, I realized that after over 270 episodes, I've never actually done one of these shows, and it's mostly because I could do this every week. Go to New Comic Book Day, show you pickups and things like that, but honestly, I don't have the time to do those kind of episodes every week and be consistent about it. So I finally got around to going down there and I realized, hey, this would make for interesting content. You guys have seen Third Eye Comics featured on my channel before. Let's do a New Comic Book Day video. And this was probably not the best week because there wasn't a lot of heat around the books going into this week, but it allowed me to basically shoot a little bit more in the shop with a few less people. You could definitely tell that there wasn't a lot of heat this week. So there's only a few people in the shop for New Comic Book Day right when those doors open. But I hope you enjoy this experience. I'm going to show you some of the footage from the shop, and then I'll come back and I will show you some of the pickups that I got from this particular New Comic Book Day week and talk about why I got these books and things like that. So sit back, I will be right back. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed some of the footage that I shot in Third Eye Comics. You can tell that they have a lot of new comics. In fact, you couldn't tell the difference between the new comics this week wall versus the new comics over the last few months wall. It's just a huge store. They have a lot of new comics. And if you saw the books that were sitting on the top rows above the regular rows of comics, those are all ratios and special variants and things like that. These are the more expensive books, and they get a ton of new comics. They order so many things that they can get a lot of different variants in the store. So it does cater to a lot of new comic book collectors out there, and they do get a big following at Third Eye Comics. Now, as I said, there wasn't a lot of people in the store this week, and maybe there just wasn't a lot of new books that had a lot of buzz. I'm not sure about that. But maybe if I'd went the week before when Ultimate Spider-Man #1 came out, maybe there was probably more variants, more people came out for some of those. But I went this week, and when you see this episode, it's going to be probably at least a week or so old. So I'm not putting this video out to talk about this particular new comic book day, but this is just a general new comic book day. But the reason I ended up going this week was Ghost Machine was coming out, and I've got it right here. I'll show you the first book. And I realized that I didn't have this on my initial order that I get from my subscription service. I go through M&M Comics online to get all my new comics. They get shipped once a month. Now, I order these books 3 months in advance, so trust me, I miss a lot of things reading over things, and I definitely miss Ghost Machine ordering it 3 months ago. But LCS, close by, let's go, let's pick this up. That's what I use New Comic Book Day for, to pick up things that I might have missed. And Ghost Machine was coming out this week, and that was probably the biggest thing for me coming out that I wanted to pick up. Now, they had a lot of they had some ratios that I really didn't get into, but they had a ton of variant covers, and quite honestly, none of them jumped out at me any more than any other, and so I just went with cover A on this. So I picked up a copy of this. I don't know if this is going to be a spec comic or not. There's times I will buy multiples, and you will see some multiples in this stack today of some of the things I picked up, but you won't see, I won't do it all the time, and sometimes that's a mistake, and sometimes, tell you this, new comics are not cheap. And when I go to my LCS, now, luckily I am a subscription holder. I got a subscription box there at Third Eye, and I have Members Club. I think there's 2 different discounts. I'm not sure. But it gives me a little bit of discount on all of this. So I wasn't paying exactly cover price, but it's not the same discount as you get when you order from a subscription service 3 months in advance. Books like this, I was probably getting, if I'd done this 3 months ago, I'd been getting 35%, maybe even 50% off of the cover price. So that's why I stay with that service, to get a bigger discount on all the books that I get, or most of them at least. But I missed this, so I went and picked up Ghost Machine while I was there. And I'm excited about reading this because it definitely has some of my favorite creators out there in the comics world today. So what other books did I pick up when I was there? Well, let's just go down, and we got Crashdown, and I almost forgot to pick this up, but this is being written by Tom Garcia, and everybody on YouTube, if you're watching this channel, you know who Comic Tom 101 is. That's who this is. He ended up writing this with Ryan Sargent as well. You see them on the channel together all the time. Ben Timblesmith did the art on this. Yeah, right, yeah. And I don't know much about this book, and I basically picked this up as a novelty. I doubt that I'll pick up any other issues or anything, but that was kind of cool to see someone in our community put out a book that's right there on the stands. So we'll check this out and give this a read and see what I think about that. For the other new books, let's just go down. Things that I didn't either missed, or, as I said, maybe I want to get extra copies of. There's always that as well. But let's see. I did pick up this here. This is a copy of Immortal Thor #6. Now, I've been getting this right here, but I don't think I'd gotten this cover. It's I think it was Greg. Is it Greg Hildebrand? Yeah, Hildebrand. Yeah, did more from Marvel Masterpieces from the card series. he did the painting for this, and they're doing a lot of that from the Marvel cards. You saw the Joe Jusko cards that they put on the covers for a couple years, and then looks like they're getting into Ryan Hildebrandt cards. They're going to put those on the covers, and this struck me as something that would look interesting. I don't know if it's collectible or not, but I went ahead and picked this up. Basically, that was a cover buy, even though I've got Thor in my subscription I usually get anyway. Another cover was this one right here. This is from the Resurrection of Magneto. This is #1, and I have dropped most of the X-Men, but the Negative Space cover right here, you guys can remind me who the artist is on that, but I went ahead and picked that up. I thought that was pretty cool, and I probably just dinged that right there on the stand. Not being very good. I probably should have bagged and boarded all of these before I presented them today. But again, another cover buy. I have not been buying X-Men. I've been not happy with any of that. So unfortunately, in this hobby, there's still great covers out there, and I still pick them up. I'll react to a great cover. So their marketing employee worked on me on this one. So I did pick up a copy of that. And trust me, I will sit down and I will read this a little bit and see if I like it. One of the things that I had not been subscribing to was on Boom Studios, the Dracula series from James Tynion. Or is it Tyon? I never can remember. And I had picked up the first issue, but I did not pick up the following issue. So I kind of caught back up a little bit. I picked up issues #2. Now, this wasn't on New Comic Book Day, but issue 4 was on New Comic Book Day. That's issue #2 right there. And here's issue #4. They did not have any issues #3. And that's a little surprising because they had a lot of these Dracula books there at the store. New for issues 2. They even had some issue 1s, I believe, but they didn't have any issues #3. I don't know. Was that a special issue? Did I miss something on that? I don't know. But Third Eye always has James Tynion come in at least once a year, it seems like. Maybe twice a year. I don't know. And it seems like they're well stocked with a lot of his stuff, but I'm surprised that the third issue was just not there. One of the things I missed the week prior going down to, and it's because I had copies of this in my monthly subscription, was Ultimate Spider-Man #1. And if you guys have been watching Cover Price and the top 10 list, I think a week ago when I'm shooting this, it's already a week late from the book coming out, but the top 10 list on Cover Price for the last couple of weeks have been nothing but Ultimate Spider-Man #1, except for maybe one exception, top 10 with the different covers. And this was definitely not one of the top 10 covers that was there, but this is the only copy of Ultimate Spider-Man. Well, they had plenty, trust me. You saw in the video, they had a whole rack of nothing but this particular cover of Ultimate Spider-Man #1, the new series. So I went ahead and picked this up. Luckily, I do have a couple different ones ordered in my monthly subscription. I don't know if it's going to be coming in yet. When that comes in, I will probably do an unboxing of my regular monthly books. I did one video of that before. Maybe I will make that a monthly thing where I break open the new books I get each month. Just like this is New Comic Book Day, I'm going to do at least one video a month where it'll be New Comic Book Month. And you'll see the majority of the books that I order each month. But I did pick up an extra copy of Ultimate Spider-Man #1 on that one. And let's see. Wasn't much more on the new comic books this week that I picked up, but there were some things that I had missed over the last couple weeks that I went ahead and picked up a copy of. I did pick up a copy of the new Timeless #1 right here. And I didn't realize that they were going to be doing, every year they would have a new Timeless series. So I'll be interested in reading this because I really enjoyed the first Timeless one that they did with Kang. And I think it was a Mark Bagley artwork. I really liked that. And they gave a foretelling of Miracle Man coming into the MCU or the Marvel Universe. So I kind of like that book. So I will give this a read. I don't know if I pre-ordered Jackpot or not. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Everything I've read about this character, Mary Jane Watson, it's girl fantasy. Girls are the best, and doesn't matter. We don't need to have to worry about what science and how anything works. It's just make her great type of stories. That's all I've been hearing about this. But number one issue, I don't mind picking up a copy of that just to have it in a collection. Who knows where that's going to go. One of the things that I definitely miss, and it's surprising for me, is that being such a huge Avengers fan, normally I pick up just about everything, but they've been doing so many different Avengers, different books. Seems like recently they've gotten back into it. They did this a while back, and it got to be too many titles with the Avengers, and then it seems like they're getting back into that now, and I can't keep track of it outside of what the regular Avengers issue is. That one I continue picking up, but other things, I kind of get tired of it, and that's why I kind of drop titles or don't pick up titles when I should. And one that I missed out on was Avengers Twilight. And everything I've heard about this is that the art is fantastic. The story is a little, we've seen this before, but basically it's a take on Captain America and the Avengers, much like The Dark Knight, or kind of that idea, at least part of it at least. So I figured I would pick up a copy of that, and here I am. I don't know if it'll mean anything, but I did pick up multiple copies of that, and I was swayed by a Scotty Young cover of the same thing there. So I did pick up 3 copies of that right there. That's the only multiples that I ended up picking up on that. Now, one book I definitely order every month, but seems like for the last 6 months or so, it's been sporadic on the M&M service. When I go to order my comics, I have to double check and see if Usagi Yojimbo is coming out that week or that month or not. And he seems like Stan Sakai's, they went back to Dark Horse, and it's not a regular series where it's consecutive and ongoing. They're doing these small little series, and to be honest with you, I'm losing track. And one that I've lost track on is Space Usagi. And it looks like this right here. I can't even tell. I don't even remember if I ordered these at this point. But I love Stan Sakai and Usagi Yojimbo. So we ended up with Space Usagi. This is Yokai Hunter one-shot. But then you've got Space Usagi Death and Honor, and I picked up, this I think is a variant cover from number 1. And then I picked up Death and Honor number 2, and I think this is another variant cover because this is not Stan drawing either one of those right there. Now, I can't tell you if I've ordered these or not. If I did, I probably got the regular covers, but being such a fan of Stan, I don't mind picking these up, and one downfall to ordering a month in advance, or 3 months in advance, is I only get those shipments once a month. Now, I could get them twice a month, but you pay about twice as much for shipping. So I opted for the once a month shipment that comes in with my whole order. And when new books hit, especially the ones at the very end of that order that were going to come out, I will get that shipment in, and sometimes the new book is already hit, and it's been out for several weeks at that point, and the heat's kind of died down, and I've kind of got to wait for that book to come in. So a lot of times, the downside is I have to wait, and sometimes I end up double buying sometimes just because I can't wait on something as well. But on these, I don't mind having multiples of this, because I definitely want to read this ahead of time. And if we do, like I said, we'll have different covers, I'm sure, on some of these. All right. Now, the one thing I mentioned before at Third Eye, and you can do this with just about every LCS for you, anybody out there, most every one of them does a subscription box. You can pre-subscribe to books at your LCS, and they will pull them for you when you come in. Third Eye Comics gives, I think it's a 10% discount on new items, and you can put whatever you want on that list. Well, the only book that I've got on there currently is the ongoing Amazing Spider-Man series, and to be honest with you, I don't know why I do this. I mean, because I can order this every month. This is not the book to put on there, but I do keep this in the pull box, and I can tell you, I haven't been to Third Eye for a few months, or at least a month or so. I can't tell you the frequency. It used to be new comics would come out every month, but Marvel, DC, sometimes they go in this thing where they do bi-weekly issues. So who knows how long they've actually what the frequency is, but I don't think I think I've been the third eye within the last I haven't been there in about a month, so I don't think it's been 3 months, but I've got 3 issues of Spider-Man here. This is issue number 40, still going on with the gang war at 41 and 42. And this is probably a mistake because I'm probably double ordering this. This is an easy book to have in my monthly subscription, but I keep this in at third eye because I don't know. I may change it up at some point, but I always like to keep something in the subscription box, the subscription box, basically to keep my account active at third eye. Probably should be more active on that and take a look and see what some better books are that they can pull for me. Maybe use that service a lot better. You can definitely tell I'm not using the service quite the way, other than to get that discount. I'm not really using it the way I probably should be doing it. Anyway, this is kind of a typical new comic book day at Third Eye Comics. I don't think I showed you anybody or a lot of people in the store when I went in. I didn't shoot a lot of video of that. But there was probably about a half a dozen people that came in for New Comic Book Day, and that's why they were there for. And people were getting their books. There's a fellow I know that has a Whatnot channel, and he's in there every week. And I've actually seen him pull out the rubber gloves, and he is looking for the most pristine copies of the new books he can possibly get. I mean, he's definitely looking for the highest grade of every new book there. Now, I do pretty good. I take the books off the stand and I take a look, but I'm not quite to his level of trying to make sure they're absolutely perfect. But even in this order right here, there was a couple books here that as I get ready to go up to the stand, I look down and I'm going, oh, look at that giant spine tick. How did I even miss that to begin with? And I go back to the stand and I'll pick up another copy. But it wasn't super crowded because there wasn't a lot of heat this week. Maybe there was more heat when the Ultimate Spider-Man issue came out a week ago, and maybe they had a lot of different variant covers that went off the stands real quick. I don't know about that. But this, for me, was a typical trip down to Third Eye Comics and New Comic Book Day. So, hope you guys like this. I will probably do one of these probably about once a month. I'm not going to be a frequent visitor of New Comic Book Day because a stack like this, even with the discounts, I mean, it was about that thick, right? It's not a ton of books. And man, I tell you, new comic books are expensive even with discounts. And it's a mistake when I'm buying these multiples when I really shouldn't have, like these right here. I shouldn't be doing that. I really don't need to. That's throwing money away to me in a lot of these cases like this. So I will try to be better about that. Gives you tell you, I'm not perfect, guys, but I do what I do, and hopefully we course correct along the way. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely hit that like button, slap the subscribe, and click on the notification bell so you guys won't miss out on any of the shows I put out just like this each and every week, Mondays and Fridays at 10 a.m. And if you're ever interested in anything on the channel, definitely reach out to me at collectorauctions@yahoo.com or DM me on Instagram. Or you can check out what I currently have for sale on my eBay store or on my Shortbox page. Both of those links are in the description down below. But that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I will see you for the next episode. And remember, every comic has a story.